Oh my goodness, look at that.
Crushed.
What iron you got there?
9. A
Ay, ay,
freaking
ay.
9 iron. That's not even fair.
Hey everyone, we got Shawn Sav Mu at your service. We're in our wonderful indoor facility ready for a winter of training. And one of the things that you're going to see on the bill for training over the course of our off-season training series that we have on our premium channel is balance. So many of you are falling all over the place and you're not able to contain yourself and you have to take steps in here and there. And there are some very easy tips and very solid tips to give you in order to secure your balance for you to stay on your feet, because when the center of your swing moves around, the ball contact and ball direction suffers immediately. So you really want to stay tuned for this episode. This is really going to help you with your dispersion, your contact with the ball, the solidness of your contact, which of course is going to result in longer, straighter shots. Of course, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, you really want to do that because you don't want to miss any of these episodes that we'll have for you over the course of the winter to get your game in shape.
Make sure you give us a thumbs up, leave a comment down below.
And please hit the bell.
Hit the bell. Now, you've seen Justin Thomas be all over his toes. Remember, a couple of weeks ago in the event, and they had the camera only locked in on his feet.
Oh, really?
And he's twinkle toes, right? Like you could see he was on the outside of that foot and completely on both toes through impact. But you'll notice, oftentimes, like he did come out of a few shots. But more often than not, for a player of that caliber, they're always finishing in balance, okay? So facing the camera, Sav, let me see you do a practice swing and go hold your finish. Good. So when you get into your finish, you want this foot to be nice and flat. Secure your knee over it slightly. So imagine the arch of your foot is like a suction cup and you're applying some nice suction to the ground. Go ahead and take your posture at address. So right now, Savannah's in a really nice position where the weight is secure through the arches of the feet. All your spikes are secure to the ground.
Yep.
Now go to the top of your backswing and stop. So notice at the top of the backswing, the weight is still here on the inside of her left foot, secure to the ground, and she's ready to move toward the target. Now swing to your finish and hold the finish. That's better. So notice everything stacks up: head, shoulders, hips, knees, and ankle. So in one of our series that we have on our premium channel, it's called Target Confirmation Series. And in your case, Sav, what I'd like to see you do when you hit the shot. All right, Sav, so you're hitting a draw.
Yeah.
So we're going to the left edge of that intermediate point, and what you're going to do is you're going to swing through your arc into your finish and hold that finish. Very nice. So while you're doing that, and that's almost in the hole, by the way, look at that, right?
Peeking through.
Beautiful. So there's your easy 7-iron over 172 carry with a beautiful draw. Yep, 172 carry, nice angle of attack, nice center strike. So first and foremost, you're aware that you got to your finish and held your finish. And then you realize that you hit the ball solid and the ball went where you wanted to.
Yeah.
So if you start in balance and you're looking for a nice balanced finish, then you're giving your brain a destination to go to. Whereas what happens to most of you who fall forward, go ahead and sit up to the ball. Number one, you'll notice that the distance between you and the golf ball is very different depending on what you're trying to do. So what I want you to do is back away from the ball and get ready to just hit the ball. There's no target. And back up some more. Stretch out your arms. And now, doesn't that feel like you have to extend fully just to get to the ball?
Yeah.
If you do that, won't the G-forces throw you completely off balance?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Let's see you hit it to the left of the intermediate point from there.
Oh gosh.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was a massive, order for you, right? It was a
Yeah.
real tall order for you to do.
Yeah.
And because you're trained to stay in balance, you went, go get the ball, and then come back into balance, right?
I ain't falling over.
So there was no way that you could swing through that ball and toward the target from there. Our favorite artist for that is Joaquin Niemann. And if you look at Joaquin when he's coming through, go ahead and set up, normal. Take a backswing and stop, and come on down in slow motion and show me in slow motion where you're going. Now notice how her trail arm is still bent. She's going to be collecting the ball from here, now release it over there. And so the peak speed of your swing is out toward the target that way.
Yeah.
So when you're delivering, let's say, you remember throwing the club? So show me a nice throw of the club, just to the left side of that intermediate point.
Like throw it?
Yeah, go ahead. Fantastic. So where was peak speed on that?
Right there.
So when you're getting ready to throw the club that way, what happens is your kinetic chain is going to engage. So you're going to shift weight. And a lot of you going, well, yeah, but don't I have to focus on shifting weight? Not at all. So here's an easy exercise for you to do that. Put your club down. Put them up. You know you like this. So let me see you snap a punch with your right hand right over here. What's the first thing that went? You guys saw that, right? So the first thing that goes is the weight goes to the front foot. So if I said, put the weight on your back foot, keep it there, don't move your body, and try to snap a punch. Right?
T-Rex.
Crazy, right? You feel like T-Rex.
Yeah.
So now do a normal punch. Look at the difference. You still have some slack to get through the target.
Yeah.
And that's a built-in kinetic chain that's been with us for millions of years, because we had to throw a lot of stuff at our food for a very long time. So whether you're throwing a punch or throwing a ball or throwing a club, it's always the same kinetic chain that engages. Now, let's say you were going to throw the club at the ball. What would that look like?
And a shot?
Do it in slow motion.
Oh, okay.
Show me how you'd be throwing the club at the ball. So notice how your body is going to straighten out, because you got to extend at the ball.
Yeah.
So when you're extending at the ball, so here's the posture. If you extend at the ball, you'd be here. So you got to stand all the way up here just to get to the ball.
Yeah.
So the distance between you and the ball changes dramatically depending on where you're throwing. So if you're throwing at the ball, you're going to back away from the ball, get too far, and then you're going to direct the energy over here.
Yeah.
And you're not going to engage the kinetic chain properly, which is going to really throw you off balance. But if you're swinging through the ball into your finish, go ahead. Wow, look at that finish. Just a spectacular golf shot. Whoa! Whoa, that was like 177 carry on that 7-iron. Yep, she's still hitting it 180-yard 7-iron. Really cool. So finally, so we notice how swing to your finish, hold the finish. We're throwing into the finish, holding the finish. Now, for those of you who don't know how to put the ball in the way, go see Predict Solid Contact and Direction, Shawn Clement. And on our Golf WRX, we did a video for them called How to Put the Ball in the Way of Your Swing, Shawn Clement, Golf WRX. So you're swinging to the target, and the ball is in the way of that. That's what's putting you in balance. That's why you won't see too many of the guys on tour losing their balance, because every last one of them is going toward the target.
Right.
It's It's only the ones that are really swinging out of their shoes or when they lose their focus, like JT. On it. Remember that second shot he hit on the par 5, 16th, and just that's where he lost the tournament.
Yeah.
And he says, I was afraid of going left.
Yeah.
And he blocks it way out to the right into the hazard that's in the trees there. I know I've played that golf course. I was there. It's not a fun place to be. Okay?
Yeah.
So when you're trying to go for that very narrow green in 2, well, you know, with the trouble all around there, it's very easy to get distracted.
But the previous day, he pulled off a shot so nicely. It was the par 5, right?
Right, that's the par 5.
He was on the cart path on the right side, and he had
Well, that's
like,
a different hole, though. He was on 13 on that one.
Yeah, that one. But like, he had such a narrow window that
Yes.
like it forced him to absolutely stay with his shot, and he like right off
Yes.
the cart path flushed it, and then he was afterwards. He was like, "Look, I didn't even make a scratch on it."
I know, it's
'Cause
great,
it was
huh?
so clean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he was reacting to a situation, whereas the other one, he was being careful.
Right.
So when you're reacting, you're always going to do very well. So if you're reacting to the target, you'll have great balance.
Yeah.
If you're not sure where you're going and whoop, and it's very easy to come out of the shot because now the brain's saying, don't go there. Now you're forced to go there, and that changes the whole ball of wax. So the last little drill that's really good, we call this the walking drill. So we're going to put 3 golf balls down for you, Sav,
Okay.
about a club width apart. There we go. And you're going to start your machine right over here. And what Sav's going to do, actually back up a little bit more.
Sorry.
We're going to cut grass while walking. So the video you want to see for that is called Grass Whip Training, Shawn Clement. And if you don't have a grass whip and you're having issues with contact, direction, or balance, you definitely want to get one of those grass whips. So show me walking and cutting grass, and just observe the blur as you're going. Beautiful. Excellent. Keep going. Wow. Wow. So, 3 wonderful shots, right?
Yeah.
Nice contact with the ball. The ball was going in a very nice direction. Now, what's really cool about that, when you're swinging back and through, you actually see the blur of the club, right?
Yeah.
That gives your brain a reference.
Yeah.
Notice how the brain is able to step exactly the proper amount
Yeah.
for the ball to meet the center of that club face.
Yeah.
No thinking.
No.
And you're in complete reaction mode there, right?
Yeah.
Notice she didn't lose her balance, because if you lost your balance, you'd have fallen all over yourself and you would have interrupted the motion.
Yeah.
So when you're walking, because we're built that way, we're bilateral machines, your center of gravity is falling forward and you're catching yourself. And how does your brain know to fall forward just the right amount to do that? Isn't that amazing?
Instinctive.
You're just as amazing as that. And it doesn't take a lot of, you don't practice this a lot.
No.
So when you're swinging back and through and you see where that is, the act of swinging back and through is what puts you into balance. So final drill for you is, we call it the 2-swing drill. So you're going to hit the shot, take your setup with this ball.
Oh, and then go into another swing.
Exactly. So you hit the shot and then you go into a second swing right away. Right. So which swing felt better?
The second one.
The second one. So that's what's going to happen to you when you first do this drill, and you haven't done this in a long time.
Yeah.
I think I gave you that one at once in Richmond Hill.
Yeah.
So 2 swings in that direction. Very nice. So then you start realizing, hey, I got 2 swings to go. So after you hit the first shot, your brain is putting you in the balance required to go make the second swing.
Yeah.
So that is a fabulous drill right there. That was still a very respectable. You caught that right in the center of the club face.
Not too bad.
So let's see you do one more and we'll get Moo in here.
Moo's a real newbie to this stuff.
Beautiful.
That one was
Nice.
good.
That one was really good.
Yeah.
Excellent. So that was like 175 carry on that 7-iron there.
Yeah.
Very good, Sav. Wait on. Come on in, Moo.
I'll put my club back in the bag.
So, first and foremost, we're talking about finish position.
Yeah.
Show me a practice swing. Swing into that finish and hold your finish.
Oh, sorry, I walked in front of the camera.
Nice. So notice how you tend to roll a little bit to the outside of your foot.
Yeah.
See, we're still refining, and this is going to be part of your training this winter.
Yeah.
We're going to start refining how you contain the swing inside your feet.
Okay.
So much better. Do you feel how that right foot was much more solid to the ground?
Yeah, I
Okay.
just opened my toes just a bit more.
You felt, yeah, so you felt the need to open the foot?
Yeah.
So especially if you look at our videos we did in the last couple of weeks on uphill and downhill shots,
Yeah.
the downhill shot,
Yeah.
I mean, if you roll to the outside of your right foot, you'll snap the ankle,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it'll be a disaster.
So let's see a nice draw,
Okay.
throwing the club to the left of the intermediate point and finishing in balance through that flat right foot. Not bad. It's a good start. So go ahead and release into that finish and hold your finish. Yes. Oh my goodness, look at that.
Crushed.
What iron you got there?
9. A
Ay,
freaking
ay,
9
ay.
iron. That's not even fair.
So that was, okay,
Hold
Yeah.
on a second.
195 carry. 9 iron.
Stop.
You suck. 195. So you're exactly 2 clubs longer than I am, because that's what I hit my 7-iron now with these Epic Forged.
That's ridiculous.
That's a 9. It's got a slash under the 9. It's not a 6. So
Yeah.
now here's the, if we do the walking drill with you now,
Yeah.
you'll notice you can't go to the outside of your right foot
Yeah.
when you're walking. You don't want to
Yeah,
walk
yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah, you can't do
All right.
that.
So let's see that nice little walking drill.
Okay.
You can, get your,
That last one was good.
the last one was awesome.
I did the adjustment because I could, like you said, every swing changes and
That's, and that's the cool part with what, when we do our training.
Yeah.
And just being in the gym and understanding what it means to do a set of reps.
That's right.
And as you're doing the reps,
Yeah.
you get really aware of what's happening,
Yeah.
and you're able to make those adjustments on the fly. It really is a cool thing.
Yeah, like you said, your body's like augmenting. Like, all right, where we need to put the energy towards and what stability we need.
Yeah, and that self-preserving system really kicks into high gear, right?
Yeah, it does.
And it really becomes precise.
Yeah.
So let's see another run like that.
Okay.
it's like as he's going, it's like vroom, and more intense
Yeah, it was-
as he goes along. You could actually see your confidence.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause it's
Come
like,
up.
Yeah, my body was just like, all right, the last one, need to fix this. I like the adjustment just happened naturally. Because
Yeah.
the instincts just tell you exactly what you need to do.
So you see how really potent this drill is.
Yeah, I can't explain it. It's
Right, but you get the experience of it.
Yeah.
So the brain sees what's going on. It knows when to step,
Yeah.
and it's like, I got this, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
could see it. You could see your body language and after the second shot. It's like, ooh, you could really. He was gonna clobber. Oh, I saw that. I saw that. That was good, man. So, and then the final one. Let's see you do the two swing drill.
So for this one, is this
just you set up normally,
Yeah.
and you're going to hit the shot with the first swing,
Yeah.
but keep in mind you have a second swing to do,
Yeah.
and you're going to go hold your finish after the second swing.
Okay.
Okay? So you want to do 2 right there. 1, 2. There you go. Look at that. So you didn't go to the outside of your right foot on the first swing.
No.
It was nicely contained. Your foot stayed flat on the ground. It rolled maybe a bit, but it didn't collapse.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So for those of you who have a tendency to collapse, or you're a little too happy in the feet,
Yeah.
that drill is simply spectacular, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you guys now right-handed how we do that. Mu, you're awesome, man. Well done. An added bonus that you'll find happens when you're doing that walking drill is your posture through impact is maintained so much better. In the downhill shots that we did last week, if you go to our premium channel, you'll see the uphill downhill shots, and from down the line, as I was doing the downhill shots, walking and cutting grass down the slope, I could not believe how my spine angle was maintained. So I have a tendency when I get a little bit too rambunctious, I start to lose that posture, and I do a little Tom Lehman or a little bit of Phil Mickelson, and you know, there's a term for it, and this is a PG type of channel, but they actually call it goat humping. This look.
Oh my God. Who came up with that?
So it's the look. You know, it's just it's a look that not too many people are going to appreciate. But hey, you know, Phil Mickelson's won over 40 tournaments on the PGA Tour with a lot of majors. He's in the Hall of Fame, and that's been his look his whole career. Same with Tom Lehman. So, but I've noticed that the balance as we're walking, so if you look at that walking drill, you'll see something totally different. And
Well, you did that nicely.
I did that quite nicely, didn't I? Hey, there we go. So easy 7-iron 185. So, and it's almost put that in the hole on the last one there. Now, the fun part of that is as I'm walking, if I lose my posture, I can't take the next step. So there is all kinds of bonuses that are coming out of this walking drill. So you don't want to miss the video entitled Grass Whip Training, because we show you how to do that in that video. And then so if I do the two swing drill, so I'm delivering to the right edge of that intermediate point, keeping in mind that I got a second swing to produce. And I felt, there it is, that's 200-yard 7-iron. So I felt that structure in my posture that was required for me to make that second swing. Yeah. So a big bonus for me is that maintenance of posture through impact. And if I fall out of that posture, see how it's easy to hit it off the toe when you do that? Yeah. Because it just pulls you away from it. So when I get a little too aggressive, I go to the ground, and then what happens, my core can't take it, and that I lose my posture this way. I'm staying pretty grounded with my feet, but I'm losing through here. Yeah. So 2 swings in that direction. And there's that finish. And that was gonzo, right? Beautiful draw, 200-yard carry. Man, these things feel amazing. And so the two swing drill and the walking drill, and then finally, of course, with you can integrate your finish position. So you notice at the end of every shot, we're holding that finish when the brain knows where it starts and where it's going to end. Well, if I'm going into that finish position, I'm not going to go out this way and put myself off balance onto my toes. I'm not going to yank it to the inside here and have the weight go completely off the front foot. I've seen many of you guys do that. So the backswing is going to give you exactly what you're looking for. And that's where, when you have that blur, see how my club is moving in the correct path, in the correct plane, because my swing is balancing me. And that was a fantastic, conversation I had with Mo Norman about how the swing, when you're swinging toward the target and your swing is congruent with the direction that you want to go, will naturally balance you, during that action, okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed that video on balance. And Sav and Mu, really appreciate your help on that. We'll see you guys next week. All the best.